Hey, welcome back, everybody. We're going to be using clones now to make some special effects. I'd like to make a kind of an explosion when the tank gets shot, but feel free to add in all sorts of different kind of special effects with clones. I think it would be really cool to spice up things like your intro screen or other different places in your project, other features with some cool clone special effects. So let's take a look at how we can make a explosion happen. And this one's not going to be the prettiest. I think it'll still look pretty good, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so we'll start off. I've made a really simple sprite. It's just a little tiny square, just a tiny square. That's all it is. It's centered, so when the square shows up, it'll show up in the right place. And I called it red particle. And so we're going to make a bunch of particles shoot out of the tank by using clone to kind of radiate out like a blast when the tank gets hit. And I would make one for green as well. So, you decide what you want yours to look like. So let's get started. First of all, I would like to hide my particle because I'm going to be cloning this particle and making many copies of it. But the actual original particle is not something I want to show up. So I'll go and grab a green flag trigger and then just hide it. So most of the action for this sprite is what happens when you clone it. So I'm going to grab the trigger for when we clone it, when I start as clone. And this is where most of the action will happen. So I'm going to, first of all, I guess, kind of like the bullet, when it's cloned, it'll go to the red tank. And then it's going to point in a random direction and maybe pick a random size. And then it will fly off in different directions. So let's make that happen. I'm going to, I guess, start off by saying go to. And I want to go to the red tank because this is the red particle. So I guess you'll have different particles for different tanks. We're going to probably randomly point it in a direction. So how do you do that? I think easiest way is just point in direction, and then we're going to use the random operator, pick a random direction between like 1 and 360. Will work just fine. So it'll have a random direction, and then what I'll do is I will say show, and then start going. So the show is right here, and then there'll be some kind of repeat loop where I make it fly off. So I'll grab a repeat loop. Maybe we'll do it 10 times, and we'll move in that random direction, and then I'll delete the sprite. So this will, look okay, but we'll just start off with this fairly simple version, and then we'll refine it from there. And you can have a lot of fun refining these. There's all sorts of ways you can change this. Okay, so I can't really, you can sort of test it. Like, it's hard to see. Oh yeah, I was going to give it a random size as well. It's a little bit hard to see, but in mine, but a little piece of tank flies off, I guess, is the idea. I was going to do random size, so I'll set size. My particle is quite tiny, so I'm going to make this random size between, sorry, not change size, set size. Random number, I'll just steal this one. Between 100 and maybe 400. All right, so I'll just like click it and see like little things fly off. Great. Okay, but I don't want just one to fly off. I want a whole bunch of things, a whole bouquet of particles flying off. So what I'll do is I will tell the sprite to clone when we have a collision. So I'm going to go over to my red tank. And you can see this is my collision script. We built this a little while ago. So we have, the blinking, and we have the detecting collision here, and like, ooh, what if I died kind of stuff. So what I'd like to do is, if I get shot, and that would be probably sort of right before this stuff here, I want to, clone a bunch of stuff. So normally I would say, hey, make a repeat loop, but repeat loop has a bit of a problem. So repeat loop has a slight delay in it. So you can't just say repeat 100 times, make, clone a particle. They'll come out sort of in order. I'll show you, I guess, what it looks like. So if I say repeat 20 times, make a clone of the red particle. I'll just click that, and you can see like it's like showering out. Like it doesn't happen all at once. And maybe that's what you want, in which case, rad. Like, please do that. But of course, I want mine to all kind of burst out. So I can't quite do that. But what I can do is I can just create clone and I can duplicate a bunch of times. So if I don't have the repeat loop and I duplicate these and I click on that, see how they all kind of come out in a burst? So that's nice. Unfortunately, this is annoying, especially if you want, 100 of them. So I think what I'll do is I will make my own block. So if you click on My Blocks, then you can actually define your own block. It is basically like giving a nickname to a script or a group of blocks. So I'm going to make this, and I'm going to call this red explosion. Well, I guess it's just inside of this of the red tank, so I can just call it explosion. And I don't need any of these details. And what you can do is run without screen refresh. And that means if you put in a repeat loop here, it will do it all like super fast. It won't involve its waits. So I'll click OK, and I get this define explosion. So what I can do is just add that repeat loop, and I can put it however I may want. And so if I now run the explosion block, which is here now, this explosion block will do this code without screen refresh, and you'll see I get that nice burst. Yeah, nice. So I can stick this wherever I want. So I can put it here. I probably want to explode as well, I guess, when I die. So I can put it in 2 different places. And I don't have to have, all that code there. And I can also make it run faster. Still not great. Like if I, play the game, it still doesn't look super cool. So let's make it a little cooler. So I can zoom in. You can see that explosion happens. It's okay. But I kind of want it to be a little more, I don't know, like realistic, like it's all kind of very circular. I guess this should be probably here. Hey, I should have that explosion happen there. Oh, the green tank wins, comes up too fast. Okay, so how do I make this a little more realistic? So I'm going to go back to red particles, and we can add in some details. For example, like the fact that it goes out in a perfect circle, like, nah, that doesn't look that cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in a random speed. But I can't just put random and move, because then it'll be random each time. And that could look okay. Like, I don't know what that would look like. We could try it. We could put the random here and be like, between 6 and 14 or something. And we could see what that looks like. I'll just run the explosion script. That's under red tank. Let's see what that looks like. It's not bad, actually. Let's put it out in the center. It looks pretty good. But I think you can see it's a little bit janky. So what I would say is maybe I would add in some a more consistent amount. So instead of it choosing each time it moves a random amount, let's choose that at the beginning. So I'd have to save that into a variable. And if I want each particle to remember its own, then when I make the variable, I will make it for this sprite only. And what that allows us to do is it allows each clone to have its own copy of this variable. So I'm going to make a speed variable. Oh, it already exists. I guess I made it earlier when I was playing around with this. So I already have that. But basically make it for this sprite only. And then you can control each particle separately, because each particle gets its own copy. So what I'll do is I'll set at the wherever you want speed to a random number, and then what I can do is I can where is it? Oh, it's just right here. I can move speed amount, and so that'll be a little more consistent. So when I start, like, I'll get random speeds and sizes. So I think that'll look pretty good. And then also maybe it'd be nice to kind of fade it away. Like right now they go out and then just disappear. So I think what I'll do is I'll also add in a ghost effect. So as I am flying along, I will change, oops, missed it. I will change ghost effect, not color effect, although that could be cool too if you want rainbow particles. I'll change ghost effect by -10, because it does it 10 times. So let's see what that looks like. I'll drive over here. Does my keys work? Oh, it does. Good. So I'll shoot. And we can see a big explosion kind of comes out of the tank. Yeah, nice. I think... Let's see, just admire the ghost effect doesn't really seem to be working. So I think it's because I'm going the wrong way. Oh, ooh, I made a mistake. Hold on. It should be positive 10. There we go. So now we can see sort of the particles, they fade away. Let's bring that back here. Ta-da! So, yeah, it's almost fades away too much now, but you can adjust it. You can change how much it fades away as it goes, and you can kind of find some interesting ways to make this work. All right, so I hope you enjoyed seeing how to make like an explosion effect. Try to find another way that you can make some kind of clone special effects for this project. You could do a lot of different things. You can make, the mouse pointer trail behind some sort of like, dust and particles as you move. You can make, when you collide with a wall, you can make a bunch of sparks fly. You could make it when you are in your intro screen. Maybe you spruce it up by having some cool clones like snowflakes or raindrops or stars fly across the screen. So think about how you could make an interesting clone-based special effects for your game. Okay, thanks everybody.